Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk to Leo Manzari. He's a tap dancer, rapper, singer, songwriter, producer from DC, and take a look for yourself.
Yeah, so we're going to do a musical conversation. It's not a competition. Don't make it that. How many times have I sat there fantasizing times?
Who knew, I'd be steady contemplating on the things you choose.
No one deserves to be alone. If you're my boy, I'm not gonna second guess you. But I should have. I had a girl that I was dating at the time. I immediately saw that he was taking a little too much of a liking to it. He ends up texting her and asking her on a date. And I just want to shout him out right quick. He came through I'm just kidding, y'all. Look at how the focus can really shift now. Bad bitches is trying to get down. For that reason, I told him sit down. That season of getting his now is played out, and it's time for the takeout. So fuck your diamonds and crystals. I got real gold on my tits now.
Patience. Slow your roll.
Let's start right away. So, are you in New York right now?
No, I actually came home to DC. I'm with my mom.
Can you talk a little bit on how, like, when did you start noticing that this pandemic was, like, coming to the US, and when did it start affecting you personally?
Yeah, absolutely. So, pretty much, I'm featured in a film called 𝙁𝙖𝙘𝙞𝙬𝙧𝙬 Bring Them Back. It's based on my mentor, 𝙁𝙖𝙘𝙘𝙬𝙬 and about his life and everything. So, we were actually a part of the Miami Film Festival in Florida, plus teaching a series of, master tap classes and showcases and stuff like that. So when I was in Florida, I remember, I think it was the day after I got there, we started hearing all this stuff about, there's this huge pandemic that might come through. Or we didn't even consider it a pandemic then. It was just there's definitely a sickness going around that could easily travel here. But we weren't sure about, what was influencing that information or anything like that. So when I was in Florida, it just progressively got worse every day. And we knew that we had to complete that job in Florida, but then I started to fear about flying back to New York. Also because my mentor is older, he's an older man, he's in his 70s.
Yeah, so he was going to be the affected worse probably.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's a prime target. And I remember I was so OD, I went to CVS, 5 different CVS's and searched for hand sanitizer, did the whole thing. Not even for me, just because I don't want him to be, subject to that. Yeah, so then I came back to New York, and when I was here, pretty much I'm a tap educator as well as performer, so all of those things ended up just getting canceled. And at that point, I just realized that, it's probably going to get significantly worse, especially because we live in New York, and, there's a lot of people there, so it's easy to spread.
I've been hearing a lot of people, saying, oh, but this is great. You can be productive. You're at home. You have so much time. Use that as something positive. And I think there's 2 sides to that. Definitely we do have more time, but we should probably also take some time doing nothing for ourselves just to process everything that's going on. So I was wondering, have you felt any type of pressure to create? And have you done that?
Oh, yeah. So just in terms of productivity, given, the light of the circumstance, I've actually been way more productive than I think I could have anticipated. Not just given the fact of our lifestyle, but the lack of preparation for the lifestyle of having to stay inside. I produce my own music a lot, from a director standpoint and producer standpoint, and I work with a band a lot. So that's a lot of me directing other people. Whereas when I'm forced to, isolate myself and still be responsible for creating, producing content and distributing that, it's put a lot of that those same expectations in my hands. So I've been doing a lot of hands-on work, producing more instrumentals as well as lyrics. I've always been writing. But my record, I actually had a record that was set to drop in the near future, and that got pushed back, not for negative reasons, just more so we're trying to you know, capitalize on how much people are at home and figure out like the best ways to get it out to people as opposed to just dropping it, you know. So I'm sitting on a full record and full video release that I just haven't put out.
Not putting it out.
Yeah. No, you know, we can't rush it. There's always opportunity in the distant future. So, and yeah, like I've, you know, on my Instagram, I don't know how much you've been able to peep my Instagram, but I've been like shooting these videos that are inclusive of my tap dance, and up until this point, I've always been separately a musician and then separately a tap dancer. Whereas recently, I've been able to take the time to create content that unifies both of those things. And instead of saying, "Oh, the dude who also makes music and taps," the dialogue can now shift to someone who like does both in one cohesive unit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just learned a lot, and honestly, just like because you said like, you know, relaxing, taking time to like slow down because it's rare that we'd be able to do that. So just kicking it with my mom, like I haven't been able to do that in a very long time. Yeah. So that's nice.
Like, it's hard, but we just have to find this little balance between the two, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just personally, I was interested in, because I was reading an article about Spotify and streaming. Can someone like you, who, you know, has some type of fan base, but also isn't freaking Justin Bieber, can you generate any type of income from these platforms at all?
Usually the income generated off my music was a parallel between the streaming and the live performance. So, you know, stripping the live performance away is definitely a shot to the gut. But now it's just a matter of realigning the release of music. Like that's why I'm glad you said you like The Usual, because that's the first single off the upcoming record, which is a whole different sound. Like honestly, like, and I love my previous record because like it was my record and I built it with people I love. But from a standpoint of just like the accessibility in a broader sense for this upcoming record, it much more like lives in that lane. That I think I'll be able to do more solid numbers just off digital notoriety and attention, as opposed to like the previous record that was like based on live instrumentation. And then just aligning it with different, you know, other brands that are online based, as opposed to like me going out and sweating for like an hour and a half. It's like now I have the opportunity to like, you know, try to get different licensing deals or, you know, figure out ways that people want to incorporate in the content they're creating. So the shift has definitely, you know, changed, but I don't think it's like a terribly horrible thing, at least for the way that I'm preparing for it.
That's really interesting. I have my little question board here, by the way, if you wonder why I'm always looking down to keep, you know, everything, trying to do the best I can. And I've also been seeing and enjoying a bunch of live streams on Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube and concerts, like with a lot of different artists or just conversations, which I love. I'm almost overwhelmed because I feel like everyone is doing it right now. So it's like, okay. Most of them that I've seen are also complimentary. So you know, how do you feel about that? Yeah. Have you done them also?
I've done a few just in the sense of like, you know, like I've made, so I was featured on Jam in the Van, which is, they're popular on YouTube, but they're also pretty popular on Instagram. I took over their thing and did like a whole live hour-long set that was filled with tap dance, filled with building a beat, building an instrumental, rapping over that, tap dancing again, showcasing some of my favorite tap footage. So I gave like a full hour-long show in that regard, in that capacity, but the only reason I felt fully comfortable doing that was because it was on somebody else's platform giving me access to those, you know, fans that I don't necessarily have on my personal. So it was like, you know, but they also made that donation-based, and like, luckily, we had a good amount of people that were very appreciative of the fact that it was free, and they ended up donating more rather than if I were to be there and be like, $10 to get in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, but like, but it's weird though, because it's like at the end of the day, like, you have to understand the first level is like people are not generating as much income as they normally would. Like, we get that. Then the second level,
get as much.
Yeah, exactly. So then the second level is like, if we know universally people aren't generating that much income, how can we have the logic to be charging people to get in? But at the same time, if you're an artist, the way that you generate your income in the first place is by having people, come in because like your source of entertainment. So you're still getting that same medium of entertainment, it's just virtually. right? So our service is still able to be provided. So from a logical standpoint, would it make sense to make people pay? Yes, but at the same time, the artist has to be sensitive to the fact that people aren't making as much income as usual. So it's like a tricky situation. But I mean, I do some stuff that, you know, basically my understanding of it is like, I'll do some stuff for free. Like, I'll give you that just so you can enjoy it. But like the really special shit that like I know has value, that's not just a matter of clicking a button so you can see it. Like, I know to charge for that, but I only charge people if I know I'm giving them something special.
Is there something that you have discovered about yourself or about someone else that you're, you know, happy about, and or like something positive just that came out of this pandemic that we're in that maybe you didn't see before?
For myself or for myself and other people?
Both.
So, I mean, for other people, I think it's really cool to see them utilize the resources that they have at hand and to be able to see the magic that they can create without a high production value event. And I really think now is the time where you're really able to distinguish those that are really true, genuine artists that can really create something from nothing, and then those that you see with like a lot of fluff around them, and the only reason they get the attention is because they got the lights, they have the good sound designer, and they have whatever tapestry behind them to make them look good. I think it's very revealing. Even on like a very high level where they're doing like these big concerts, you know, like some of these, like for instance, you know, The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, like you can really see how incredible Trevor Noah truly is, because he is just as engaging on his couch with the scruffy beard as he is in a big studio with the studio audience and multiple cameras. Just as entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's been really cool to see. And like even the biggest stars, you know, they're doing these live streams of them playing piano live and singing live, and you know, some of them don't have autotune, and some of them you realize how much autotune they actually needed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how on your shit are you really? Like that's kind of what this is talking about. And like, you know, just about myself, like I've, you know, like when it comes to recording tap and implementing that in, and then writing and recording and producing everything, I've just found that I've been able to be like way more resourceful with my time, as well as just the limited limited equipment that I have. So that's been nice. I've just like, you know, obviously in light of the darkness going on in the world, like that's a whole nother conversation. Like I'm not sitting here acting like I'm happy and all this shit, but I'm definitely able to make progress and at least continue to do what I love.
Thank you so much for watching. Please keep the conversation going in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next episode.
But I want to be good at forgiveness and making room, so I open the window. I open the window.
Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of Facing Forward.